And just days after the video from Memphis was released, a Chicago man is releasing his own video of what happened to him while in police custody.
He says that video raises questions that should lead to the firing of 2 officers. CBS 2's Chris Ty live in our newsroom with that video and what's next. Chris.
Joe and Marie, police typically search you for weapons at the time of arrest before you enter a cruiser, then again at the station before going into lockup. But police wanted a third check on Damian Stewart. That led to an altercation he says was police picking on him, which led to more than a dozen punches to his head.
It's May 2019. You're in Chicago's 4th District Police Station. Damian Stewart there in cell D4. He'd been searched twice before falling asleep in his cell when he says his arresting officers came back for another sweep.
It just led to them somehow assaulting me. I don't know how it even got that far.
Watch as the incident escalates. One of the officers grazes his head. That gives way to a verbal exchange. Later, over a dozen punches by the officers, many to the head. In the minutes that followed, a supervisor was brought in. Later, Stewart says he was taken to the hospital, but his injuries were not severe.
It was close-handed fists. You see the video. They just struck me. I don't know why he struck me. I didn't say anything or make no aggressive movements.
He was in lockup after an illegal gun was found in his car after a traffic stop. Stewart currently on house arrest for a more recent weapons charge, one that he disputes. He settled with the city recently over this lockup assault, receiving $45,000. Now he wants the officers fired. We asked 2 experts on police behavior to look at the video. Cheryl Dorsey is a former LAPD sergeant.
This person was already in a jail cell. Whatever he said that bothered those officers should have not cause that kind of a response.
David Harris is a law professor at the University of Pittsburgh.
Let's even assume there was a perfectly good reason for that search in the cell. There was no good reason for the officer to just gratuitously reach out and grab that man's head. And that is what tips it over into violence.
Neither say this is a clear-cut reason for termination. Both say it's reason, though, for CPD to investigate the officers inside the cell as well as those watching from the hall.
This was unnecessary, this was excessive, and this was absolutely over the top.
The reason that this gets my attention is because everything we're doing in law enforcement now is supposed to be keyed to de-escalating.
Late today, we learned from Chicago police the details on the 2 officers inside that cell that night. Sergeant Gerald Williams served a 15-day suspension in November of 2021 for it. Officer Enrique Delgado Fernandez served a 10-day suspension in April 2022 for it, following the disciplinary grievance process. Live in the newsroom, Chris Ty, CBS 2 News.
Chris.